What is up, everybody? Welcome to BAF, and it's the show with me and
Gute himself.
Yes,
live from Virginia.
Live from West Virginia. So today we are going to be doing something interesting. I think we talked about it in the last show that we did, which was Planet of the Apes. We were planning on, doing I pick a movie, then he picks a movie. So I remember him saying something like, "I'm in a vampire mood" or something like that. So he picked a classic here that we're going to be doing. And it's actually my first time seeing it. I thought I saw this. So, but I watched a different version of it. So we're doing the horror of Dracula, Hammer film with Christopher Lee. Goop kind of introduced me to this. So I ended up looking for it, and I ended up finding a version hosted by Sven Gule. That's how you say his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it right.
Which is funny because I'm wearing a shirt with a shirt from House of a Thousand Corpses of a fake host, Dr. Wolfenstein. Yeah, so I that's why I felt like wearing the shirt. But yeah, I got to see this Sven Gule for the first time. He's kind of like a Bob Briggs. Yeah, I was talking.
This guy, like he jumps on. He's got like a top hat. He's got like makeup on his eyes, and like his face is a little white. I'm not sure my screen in a second.
Yeah, he's a very interesting, like cheesy, like horror, like a host for movies, for horror movies, old classic. Yeah, there he is, right there, Sven Gule.
Oh, Sven Gule. So yeah, he's been on since 1970, and he's on like a TV network, which is kind of fascinating. Because the first time I saw this guy, he was on the Last Drive-In show.
Yeah,
Last Drive-In show with Joe Bob Briggs, and like that's when I got to like see him and like see his old bit and what he's all about. And I was interested by it, but I'm not going out of my way to look for it. I prefer Joe's ways of like how just the passion he has to talk about a movie and like the host or the guests he brings in and stuff like that. It's something else.
Yeah, no, he was interesting to watch. I enjoyed him. Like I said, I actually I saw like the trailers of other shows he's doing, and I know he did a Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I actually want to watch because I remember our past episode, that great episode that you hosted for the Black and White series, and it was fun to watch. But the version I watched, like I said, it was just him basically interrupting throughout the movie, giving little tidbits about it and stuff like that, and the cheesiness, a lot of rubber chickens and weird stuff.
So the reason why I picked this movie.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We just did Nosferatu.
Yes.
And we did Planet of the Apes. He said to do a classic movie. So I was thinking about it, and I wanted to do a classic movie but still had its finger in the zeitgeist. Today's society, the zeitgeist, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And my brain went 3 years ago at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. They were masks of Christopher Lee's Dracula everywhere.
Really?
For sale.
That's awesome.
And I was like, people know about him? I was so excited. I almost bought one, but there's not enough stuff in my luggage to bring it back. But I did buy one, had it shipped to my house. I should have had it out, but it's packed up.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, that's right. That would have been cool to see. So it's one of those old school masks.
It was that picture, that best picture shot of him, like eyes, the shock.
Yeah.
His eyes were bloody and him hissing. Like it was that mask. It was for sale. I'm like, you don't know about him? It was a big deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's pick this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got to watch this for the first time, but I've always known about Christopher Lee playing a Dracula character, and known from a lot of movies that a lot of directors, use Christopher Lee because of them growing up watching him. But it was very interesting. I'm actually very glad to see this. I actually want to see every single version of Dracula out there, but it's just so different though that it's tangled up and everything. But here, I'll get back to the details. But I'm glad you brought this to our attention to watch this. This was fun to watch. So Horror of Dracula was released in the United Kingdom on May 22nd, 1958. But in the United States, it was released on May 8th, 1958. So, but it was released as Dracula in Britain, but over here, it's released as Horror of Dracula, I guess because of the rights or something like that. So that was a little different on that. Other notable films directed by the director, which is Terrence Fisher. He also did The Curse of Frankenstein. He did The Mummy. He did The Revenge of Frankenstein, The Hound of Baskerville, The Brides of Dracula, and The Devil Rides Out. Let's see. It was produced by Hammer Films on a modern budget of £81,412, 114,000 for U.S. Alone. The film achieved a significant commercial success, earning around $3.5 million worldwide theatrical rentals, including $1 million from North America alone. Critically, this movie for Rotten Tomatoes score, I was a little shocked at this. So critically, this film holds an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critical score, but for user score, it got an 81%. So it actually, it's a loved movie. I was expecting higher though, but maybe because I figured that this is a well-loved film for a lot of people that like the Hammer films, the very low budget. But I don't know. What do you think?
I love the Hammer films, but fuck Rotten Tomatoes. What did Roger Ebert say about this movie?
No, what did he say?
So he said he initially acknowledged perceived terror, but later found it captivating because of Bela Lugosi's performance and the stylized set, the photography was perfect, and so he what did he give? He gave it 2 stars.
Roger Ebert only gave it 2 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That's kind of. I can't see this movie being 2 stars, especially for that time, because Christopher Lee's acting as Dracula was kind of fun, actually. And he was a very tall Dracula too. He was tall as shit because Christopher Lee is tall.
6'5".
Yeah, he's like tall and menacing. Although I still can't understand the whole fucking librarian thing. But
what aged the worst for me?
Huh?
That's like in my nitpicks. Like just like we can jump into it. Like it blows me away that Harker is set there to be the librarian, but yet we don't know why or how he knows about Dracula and he's trying to kill him. So imagine someone so awful at their job, he goes there to do that, and you have the decision to kill him.
Yeah.
For some stupid reason, their coffins are open, and he goes for the girl.
Yeah.
It's gonna scream and wake his ass up.
Yeah, I know it's weird. It's the thing is, but we gotta get so much to talk about this movie because it still astounds me. I remember texting you when I was watching this. Like, man, this is really like changing things around with certain characters, like Mina being I can't trying to remember everything here, but Mina and I believe what's his name were brother and sister or something like that.
Yeah, Harker.
Harker were brother and sister. They weren't brother and sister. Wasn't Jonathan Harker and Mina lovers in the and just like Lucy, and it was all over the place in how they changed things around. And Van Helsing, played by the great Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing.
Yes, which I'll go on the cast here. Peter Cushing is Dr. Van Helsing, of course. Christopher Lee is Count Dracula. Michael Gou, which I guess is Gou or is it Go? Do you know?
Go.
Is it Go? Okay, Michael Gou as Arthur Homewood, which everybody knows him as Alfred from Batman. That's from the Tim Burton movies, actually from the all 4 movies, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. But Tim Burton probably grabbed him. He was also in Sleepy Hollow too, I remember. Grabbed him because he probably watched him as a kid. But that's the first time I ever seen him younger in a movie. It was actually really interesting to see him like that. It was really cool, actually.
definitely that guy award. You know, like you like sit there like Leo, like point the screen, and you're like, I know him, and like it's fascinating because like his film career never really went off. He
No.
was like more famous for his like British TV stuff.
Yeah.
So he didn't really get back on the main screen. There's a movie with Val Kilmer.
Batman Forever.
Before, no, it's a comedy.
Really? Which comedy? Top Secret?
Something Top Secret.
Top Secret? He was in that one?
He was in that. He was in that one.
It's been a while
just
since
watched
I've seen
for the
that.
first time.
That's yeah, that's kind of like a spoof movie, basically.
Yes.
Of yeah.
You know, it's not talked about like Airplane or like The Naked Gun. It's up there though. It's funny.
But no, it's not bad. It's actually from the same directors of that, actually. Airplane, Naked Gun. I believe there was another one, Loaded Weapon, I believe, or something like that. But it was fun to see him. There's also another the actress in here. I actually seen her in a movie before because I'm a huge fan of the original A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
From the 50s. And I think he plays Scrooge's basically chick that he almost ended up with, but he turned down. She plays Lucy, actually. You could hear her voice and everything. They even talked about that in the Svengoolie, and I was like, oh, that's where she came from. So Svengoolie gave a lot of little tidbits here and there throughout the whole thing about this. We also have Carol Marsh as Lucy Holmwood. We got John Van Eason as Jonathan Harker, which I think I talked to you this in a text. John, I couldn't not figure out where the fuck I've seen his face, and I thought I've seen him in another movie, maybe an older movie. But then I looked at his filmography. I can't say the fucking word. I don't know why. But I saw all the movies that he did, and I've never seen anything from him. So then I actually told you that he looks like the dude that was in Rogue One, the one that went against Peter Cushing. If you put their face side by side, they look almost exactly alike. But he was kind of the base of the librarian. He was kind of a character that I didn't really care about, didn't really need.
I guess it set the tone because I mean the best thing he had was his journal, which eventually got to Van Helsing. But like I love the attention to detail when he goes to Castle Dracula and like he says it's that you can feel the temperature change. It was cold.
Yeah.
And you can see their breath talking to each other. I love that.
Oh, I did notice that. I noticed that when I was watching the movie, when you can see their breath, that was pretty cool. And I actually liked the set design of the movie. The color was the only thing I did not care for is the blandness, but that's more of like the Hammer films. It's kind of, but you know, the blood is always almost like paint red, like red paint type of deal. That's kind of normal. I mean, even Tim Burton did an ode to it in Sleepy Hollow with the blood in there to be just like the Hammer films. But the colors just don't reach out to me. But the sets were great. I mean, the sets looked good. I felt like it wasn't as gothic in a way. It didn't look as gothic and dark and like. I think everybody thinks of Dracula. They think of like pure like blackness and darkness and like stones and stuff like that. This one was more of like a brown mansion or something like that. I mean, do you agree?
It wasn't brown. It was more bluish, like the hue to it. And it looked like a beautiful, just like.
Oh yeah, the light blues. Yeah.
When you think of Dracula, you think sophisticated, you know, sexy. It's just like he's got that aura to him.
Yeah.
He's sophisticated. He's like an aristocrat. Like he's got lots of different money and like different stuff. And like it's beautiful. It's well set.
Oh yeah. I just something I wasn't used to, but I mean that's the thing. That's the Hammer films. That's what a lot of the Hammer films, the look of them looks like, and everything else. Have you ever seen Flesh for Frankenstein? It's Blood for Dracula. You ever seen that?
I've seen them all, dude. I love Hammer films. Like
no. That's not a Hammer film. It's produced by Andy Warhol. Blood for Dracula and Flesh for Frankenstein.
Not actually.
You're gonna have to take a look at that. It's got that German actor that was in a lot of U-Bowl movies. He was also in Blade as the older vampire. God damn, he's
Ludo Kier, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's it's called Blood for Dracula, and Flesh for Frankenstein is also the other one. They're extremely cheesy. They're from the 70s, and they're produced by Andy Warhol.
I mean, look at this poster for it.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, go ahead and share it on the screen. That's really all my notes for that. So I'm good with all the notes.
I mean, how could I take that seriously? How funny is that?
It's really bad. It goes into a lot of the it's almost like erotic stuff. Really, Flesh for Frankenstein. Yeah. Really, I mean, the TNA in both those movies, mainly on Flesh for Frankenstein, but it's still a different take on it. I actually would love you to watch it just to see what you think, because you're into this Dracula or vampire phase. It's interesting. Udo Kier, is that how you say it? Yeah, he does a decent job as like almost like a German type of because I think he's a German accent and everything else. And I thought it was fun. It was from the 70s, it wasn't bad. But I will say this, I do like Christopher Lee. I think Christopher Lee does make a good Dracula. Although you barely hear him talk. He only talks for like the first part of the movie when he meets the librarian, when he meets Jonathan Harker. Then the rest of the movie is just stuff like that, the hisses and everything. But you see that nice iconic shot though, with his eyes bloodshot and everything.
Yeah, for me, like I said this during Casino. I love the matchup, the pair up with Pesci and De Niro.
Yeah.
Whenever they're in the movie together, it's just something special they have. And with Lee and Cushing, they were in 22 movies together, and was nearly 4 decades. And like they were such best friends. Like just the chemistry they had working with each other. That's like my number one matchup right there.
Okay, so did you ever hear about the movie that came out in the early 80s, which had him, Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and there was another one in there. It was a murder mystery type of thing in the 80s, a little bit of comedic in it. I was actually just looking it up because I've seen clips of it on TikTok and everything where basically Vincent Price is calling Christopher Lee a bitch. It's funny. But because they're kind of like battling and stuff like that inside this. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it came out in the early 80s. So look up Vincent Price or look up thing and you'll
House of the Long Shadow.
There you go. That's it. Yeah. I've never seen it, but it makes me want to watch it because it's got all 4 of them together, and it's all 4 friends basically together making a movie in the 80s. Have you ever seen that one? I'm surprised if you
I've not.
I am surprised. See, I figured that would have been a movie that you saw because you're such a big fan of these guys.
Yeah.
So
it's like kind of a clue in a way.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I've read all the things about it, but it's got all 4 of them and everything.
So I kind of want to do a little something different with this. We kind of like spread out the movies, our fun things.
Yeah.
So like I want to do like different categories. So like, what's aged the best from this movie to you?
What's aged the best?
Yeah.
Oh God, you're gonna have to let me think about that. How about you go first on that?
So for me, it's Christopher Lee's performance. Like even with like minimal dialogue, he remains one of the most iconic portrayals of Dracula. The character, like his physical commanding screen presence, those intense eyes. Like poor guy had to wear contacts. He was nearly blind.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie where he falls into the grave, they cut that part out. Man, I kind of want to see that part now, just to see him fall in there. But I mean, that's the best. I mean, Peter Cushing's Van Helsing.
That's what I was about to say. Van Helsing. I actually really, really enjoyed Peter Cushing. He was actually my favorite in this movie. I've always loved him as Grand Moff Tarkin, in Star Wars. A lot of people know him as that. But seeing him in a different role like this, and as Van Helsing, he's perfect. Especially when they're in that the pub. I really enjoyed that scene when they're in the pub and they're talking everything, and the whole looking at the garlic. It was a very different take on the character, but it fit. I really enjoyed his acting in that role. His with the British voice and everything. It worked out for me. I really enjoyed Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. I think that aged really well.
Yeah. So for me, it's also the themes and like repression, desire.
Mm-hmm.
Just like like with him having like there's like I guess his first wife, and like them that they're not really explaining it. They're just keeping it bleak. Like I know they had the stuff with Stoker's, changing of that movie. Like, as you said on the phone talking to me, like they didn't have like werewolves, the bat stuff, and just all the different things we're used to with, Stoker's edition. I think they did a good job with the pacing. They kept it a sharp 82 minutes for this. So I thought they did a good job in like trying to like have their own take on the character and just going with it.
Yeah. Which is something that's common in Hollywood, is that they when they ever adapt anything, do a adaptation of a book or anything like that, they change things around for the movie. It's funny because Dracula has probably been adapted. I remember I did this number on the Bram Stoker's Dracula episode that we did a couple years ago. A great fun episode, even though the guys, apparently it ruined them they ruined it, them watching it. They said after they watched this movie, they didn't care for it anymore. And it was my fault. But I remember I said some type of number of how many movies have been done with Dracula. And I think it's like over 20 or something like that. There's so many. There's so many movies on the Dracula character. And I think the ones that are most common known is Bela Lugosi, of course. Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman. But I will say Christopher Lee is talked about as Dracula a lot. And he really does have that presence of Dracula. So, especially being a tall man. And I didn't realize how tall he was. I mean, I've seen him as he's been in so many movies, a lot of Tim Burton movies. Tim Burton always loved using him. He was great as Saruman in Lord of the Rings. But I think his role, you're right. I agree with you. His presence as Dracula has aged really well. His look, I think he's got the look of Dracula, the slick hair and everything else. More of a I wouldn't say romanticizing of him. I don't know. You see it's more romanticizing of him?
I think it was trying to portray to like the audience as sexy. Yeah, he was like a different, like more charming kind of.
You definitely see the charming in the beginning.
So that sign, I looked this up. There's a Latin sign above the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
It says Fidelis et Mortem.
Okay.
Which making this, it gives a sense of Dracula's family motto. It talks about how it's so Fidelis et Mortem is Latin. It means faithful even unto death.
Faithful.
Or faithful to the end.
No,
faithful even unto death.
Faithful even unto death. Okay, I like that.
It kind of like said, the different, because we don't really see that in any other Dracula movie. So I saw that sign, I paused it, and I Googled it real quick. What does that mean? I know it's Latin. So I thought that was cool, and it was kind of like gives his dedication to that character, and like as we see with the future movies with him as Dracula, see that play into his core of the character.
Now, he's played that character, Dracula character, in other Hammer films, the exact same Dracula?
Yes.
How many times?
I was saying that so Christopher Lee played Dracula. He played 7 times for Hammer and 3 other times for non-Hammer films. So total of 10 times he played Dracula.
Jesus Christ, he played Dracula 10 times?
Yes. He was the man. He crushed it. So
on your recommendation, which one would you say is the number 1 Dracula film of his? Is it this one or is it any of those?
Dracula has risen from the dead.
Dracula has risen from the dead. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have to watch that next, and I'm gonna make a promise I will watch that before we do our next episode because I want to know, the difference. So I gotta get a hold of that. So do me a favor, text that to my phone right now so I can look it up and I will watch it because now I want to see because I didn't know he did 10 fucking films. Like that's kind of shocking. Yeah. I thought maybe like 2 or 3, but not 10. So that was kind of a common role for him. Wow. Okay. Interesting. And is Vincent Price in any of them?
No.
Oh, that's shocking. I love Vincent Price. I love Vincent Price.
They get together in other movies.
Well, Vincent Price has been a part of that for the Hammer films. I know Vincent Price and Cushing, all 3 of them have been in films. And there was also a 4th one. I don't know what the other guy is. But that's interesting.
What's aged the worst?
What's aged the worst? The fucking coffin? I don't like the coffin. I'm sorry. The coffin, I don't know what it was, but it just seemed like when I saw the coffin, it just said Dracula on it in the whole rectangular thing that looks like a fucking label that would be on an office door or something like that. It just didn't work for me. I didn't like that. Let me see. What also aged worse? The coach scene. Go ahead.
Another nitpick. Where does the blood come from?
What do you mean, where's
you have Dracula, and all of a sudden blood gets splattered on top of it. Whose blood is that?
I think they did that for just effect. I think they just did that just to be like, oh, this is a vampire. There's gonna be blood around it. Blood. So I mean, they just probably put it on there. It's probably just for effect. It really isn't that gory of a movie. There's scenes of him biting, the neck and everything else, his eyes. The ending was probably the most bloodiest that you've seen, but not a truly gory movie in any opinion. I'm still trying to think what other age worse. The riding the coach scene was not that good. You know, when you see them riding on the coach, you could tell how fake that was. It just didn't work for me. And then there was another thing that seeing Dracula run and dig a grave, that was weird. I like he was like digging a grave. I've never seen Dracula dig a grave and run like he's running. Usually you see Dracula, it's like slow and, you know, intimidating, stuff like that. But you see him running. It was weird to see that. That didn't age well for me. I don't know. Didn't work for me. So that's there's things I didn't like, and those are just little small things here and there. But also, I think I told you the colors and everything else. So, but I love the set designs. Just I felt like it wasn't as gothic as I would want it to be. I would have liked a little bit more gothic. But like I said, the Hammer films are more of that type of tone.
So for my Tom Cruise, you know, best running award, who do you think he would give that award to? With, you know, with Van Helsing running him chasing each other.
It made me laugh. I was actually chuckling when I saw it, seeing him chase Christopher Lee in that, like, I think the front of the castle or something like that.
Yeah.
But
because it's sunlight, the sun's coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the heck happened.
I'm sure if they had the budget, because like we brought up and we talked about it before, is the whole thing that they didn't have bats and wolves is because they didn't have the budget. So I think what they wanted to do is have him like as a bat trying to fly to the castle, or maybe a wolf like running through the castle or something like that. But it was weird. The Tom Cruise award, that's fucking great. Weird seeing him run like that. I didn't know Christopher Lee could run that fast.
Honest to God, I would give to Peter Cushing. That man was booking it. I think he could run like a 4-4 the combo. He'd be a running back of the Lions.
Oh, that's fucking great. Oh yeah.
So for me, it's like definitely what aged the worst is the budget limitations.
Yeah.
Just the lack of Dracula screen time. That does drive me crazy when, like, even Beetlejuice now, he's in the same amount of time as he was in the first movie. Give me more Beetlejuice. It's just drives me crazy.
What is the running amount of time that Christopher Lee is in this movie?
10 minutes?
Is it only 10 minutes? Really? Fuck, yeah, that's a whole lot different from all the other ones. Are you a fan of Bela Lugosi's original Dracula?
I have respect for it, and I do appreciate it. And like, I love how Universal, they put together this stuff.
Yeah.
And for him and like what he had to work with, I thought he did a fantastic job, and it was perfect for that time capsule moment, for that time period, 1938, I think it was.
Yeah.
Just to have that, like it, I'm jealous. I wish I'd go back in time just to see people's reactions, watch that movie then, and be like, man, this was shit.
Yeah, because that was the first ever really like, well, no, was Nosferatu? Nosferatu was the first one. But that was more of like a rat type of, fuck, I love that movie. I love the original was fun. That was such, by the way, check out that review. Me and Gute did a great review on the brand new version of Nosferatu, but we also touched a little bit on the original also. But yes, going back in time to see, because the Wolfman, Dracula, the Mummy, Frankenstein, all four of those films, and there's more. He's a creature from Black Lagoon. Just seeing people respond to seeing that on the screen because they've never seen that before, that would have been really awesome to see. But then you got the British take on it with the Hammer films, because that's more of the British side, and that goes more into like the cheese territory. I wouldn't say. Would you say this is scary? Because do you think this scared people?
Not for today's modern society, and no.
No, not today's, but even back then when they first came out, do you think they scared people?
Oh yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know. I guess to me, it's not as scary. Like, I could see the Bela Lugosi Dracula being scary because you see that scene with the crypt and everything else, that beautiful background and backdrop, even the black and white.
Black and white. Yeah. That's
what I'm saying. I almost want to turn the color off my TV on a Hammer film and watch this in black and white and see if it makes it any better. Because you could do that. I mean, you could just turn the color off, make it black and white. I'm wondering if that would make it any better. Because sometimes movies.
Did you watch Godzilla -1 in black and white?
Yes, I watched it both in color and black and white. Black and white's better. There's movies that I actually enjoy better in black and white. I think black and white actually shows a lot more. Makes it darker. It actually gives a little bit more detail.
Shadows.
Yes.
Tone of the movie.
And I think that this is something I want to make an experiment where I almost want to watch this with the color turned off and see what it looks like in black and white. Because, like I said, the colors is what don't work for me, so it doesn't make it scary to me. Back then, probably it did, but I don't know. Nothing really scares me at all. But I mean, it's still I want to get the idea of it being scarier with the black and white. I mean, would you watch this in black and white? Have you ever done that before?
I have not. I appreciate the material they gave you to watch it as, so I'm gonna like look at it that way.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued now to watch it that way. But for me, like when Dracula see his face and like that way, it changes how it looks though. So it's just I don't think it would work in black and white.
I don't know. It might make it better. It might make it better. You're talking about that scene where his eyes are bloodshot and everything?
Yeah.
God damn, if only I could just get a picture.
So next up, the Big Kahuna Burger Best Use of Food Award.
The fuck? The big... Okay, so explain this.
What is the best use of food in this movie? Like, what's the best food you would eat there?
What was that? It was the thing that they... What was the thing that they ate inside the pub? It was...
we didn't see it, though. He ordered like a... It was like a stew he ordered.
Yeah.
But we don't see it, though. But in the beginning of the movie, there's like bread, cheese, and wine.
Right.
So, for me, I'd go with the the food from the pub.
Well, the thing is, didn't they talk about... I thought they said something... It was a stew? Was it a stew? That's what it was? Because then they were also talking about the garlic all hanging up and everything?
Well, he was asking why. But it just makes it go back to the like how people know about him, Dracula, and who sent Parker to kill him.
Yeah.
It's one of those unanswerable questions.
Well... Yeah, I remember the scene because when Jonathan Harker was in the beginning when Christopher Lee introduced him inside the place and everything else, and the food, right? The cheese. Yeah. So the Big Kahuna Award.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that is funny actually.
Yeah, I'd go with the bread and cheese. Can't go wrong with that.
Bread and cheese is good, but I actually would go to the pub because food at the pub is always good, even though sometimes it's bad food. It actually tastes good because you're drinking and you're getting drunk, so you don't even fucking care. You're just eating the food, even though it tastes like shit, but it tastes good because you're drinking. So I actually like the pub scene. I love the scene with Peter Cushing in the pub.
Low budget, man. You need more stuff around. It reminded me of American Werewolf in London.
Oh, the pub scene when they go in the beginning before they go out to walk before they get hit by the werewolf and everything. Yeah. No, pub scenes are always great. I love pubs.
So next, what's the Barrel Aged Flicks best alcoholic beverage?
Barrel Aged Flicks best alcohol. The fuck was that? Was that your cat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just saw like a black ghost just come by right by your screen like blackness. The best BAF alcoholic drink. I don't know. What would that be, Goot?
So when Harker goes to his bedroom, there's some different colors on the little counter right there.
Yeah,
little dresser. I want to know what is Dracula? What is he fusing together? What's he got cooking in there? Because he gives him brandy, so that's the obvious answer. So I take the brandy, but I want to know what he's infusing in there.
What he's infusing? Well, what were the colors of the drinks?
It was like red, blue, and green.
Well, green has got to be absinthe. It's got to be the Green Fairy, trying to fuck him up. Then you got brandy, but you're trying to see what he infuses in the brand or what he infuses in those drinks. What do you think he infuses?
I don't know. I can only imagine.
And puts his own. My mind's a blank. I have no idea what he put inside of it. I'd be afraid to drink anything from Dracula's dresser, basically.
Yeah. Oh, the other question. Why is there a coffin in front of his bed?
There was a coffin in front of whose bed?
Parker, there's a coffin right in front of his bed.
I don't know how I didn't notice that. Was it really?
Yes.
Maybe it was a way of Dracula, like if he goes to sleep so he could just hide in the coffin. So then right when he's up, he could just wake up and get... That's fucking weird. I don't know.
Stupid. The door's locked. How would Dracula get back in there?
He's Dracula. He could go through the walls. I mean, he could turn into a bat. He could do something. No, that is weird that there... I didn't even realize a coffin there. You really analyzed this movie. I only watched it once, so I didn't even know there was a coffin in front of the bed. I thought maybe it was a dinner, like a coffee table or something like that. It was actually a coffin.
Yeah.
Right in front of the bed? Yeah, I didn't even notice that. So that went right over my head. Jesus Christ. You analyzed the fuck out of this. How many times have you seen this movie?
Too many times.
You saw this in the theater too, didn't you?
I have, but no, not originally. I first saw this when I was in college. My one of my first bosses, he gave me like this huge like 50 horror movie, like the original classics to watch.
Yeah.
And that's when I first watched this. Like, good heavens, this is good. I'm like, I got sucked into that whole wormhole.
Oh, damn. And then you basically, so you saw a movie from the same director and actor, and then you were on a hunt for all the other movies afterward. Yeah, see, that's the same thing I've done with like all the Scorsese movies. That's how I became such a Scorsese fan, seeing Goodfellas, and then I went on search for all the other movies, especially the one right behind me, one of my favorites, Gangs of New York. But that's a good way of doing that. That's happened with me with Goodfellas and everything. And you fell in love with all these films. You like the British side of of these horror movies that they did.
I love the different takes. I love the different like source of how they portray the information, like just the different takes on the source material.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff, and they did a good job at it.
Yeah.
So you bring up Scorsese. Who would do a better job at directing this movie, Scorsese or Spielberg?
Goddamn, I've never even thought of them as. All right, well, I would have to say Scorsese, because Scorsese has done horror. I mean, well, Steven Spielberg has done. Even though they say that's a whole thing, controversy, if he actually directed Poltergeist, it's a Tobe Hooper, but he was major producer in it. But Spielberg is more on the sci-fi side. Scorsese did Cape Fear. He also did Shutter Island, which has got more of a, not like a horror tone, but more of like that dark tone. So I could see Scorsese doing a lot better job. I can't see Steven Spielberg doing this. Scorsese,
I would give it to him because I think he's got that chip on his shoulder. I think he'll make a point to be like, I can do this too.
Spielberg? Well, he's never done a horror movie before. He really isn't. Actually, I don't think he has.
Was it 8mm?
That's a 8mm?
Yeah, that movie.
Or no. You're okay. Are you talking about J.J. Abrams movie?
Oh my God, that was it. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's produced by Steven Spielberg. So he's produced movies, but that's directed by J.J. Abrams. When you say 8mm, I was thinking about the Nicolas Cage snuff movie at one point, which is actually directed by Joel Schumacher, which is fucking weird because he's directed Batman Forever and then and Batman and Robin and then 8mm about snuff. But Steven Spielberg, he's done just about every genre out there, so he could definitely try it to see he can get into it. I think Tim Burton would do a good job, but he would make it his own version, but his would be more that gothic feel that I like. But like I said, if you had to go, I think Scorsese would have did a better job because I think it would have been more of it. Steven Spielberg is more fun and adventurous. Scorsese is more serious and dramatic and everything else. And I feel like he would put a little, I don't know. I think him directing Christopher Lee would be kind of fucking cool actually, because anybody who's under Scorsese, their acting is amazing. But you could say the same thing about Steven Spielberg also. So I just knocked my fucking headphones off. But God damn it, I don't know. So you say Steven Spielberg?
I'd go with him.
I go with Scorsese. But that's also my boy. I mean, that's also my favorite director of all time. I love Scorsese on just about everything he's done, even movies that people will find extremely boring, like Kundun or Silence, which I think is an amazing movie. But that's a good question though. So, but no,
next
but
up, the Mark.
I was going to ask you a question. Side of those two directors, who would you rather see if you were to see a remake of this movie? Although we hate our remakes, but still, without Christopher Lee, could you see anybody else playing Christopher Lee's role and like a taller actor?
So casting, what if?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
No, I'd go Chris Hemsworth.
Like a Thor Dracula? Chris Hemsworth.
He's obviously got the size. I think he hasn't been in a horror movie yet. I think with his size being like 6'4", 6'5".
He was in a movie. Cabin in the Woods. He was. That's a horror movie. Well, horror comedy.
But him as like the bad guy or like, that character. I think he could definitely pull that off.
Chris Hemsworth. I mean, he'd be a very hulking Dracula. like a big Dracula. Well, no, he's got a skinny build when he doesn't work out. He's got a skinny build, so that would be interesting. And he's got the British voice, so that I could see that. I would go with
voice.
The what?
He's Australian.
Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot. Yeah, you're right. He is Australian. But I'm sure there's a lot of Australians that play British voices in movies, so it could have worked.
He could pull it off.
Yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis. See, that's why I think Daniel Day-Lewis. Because he's tall, lanky. I think he would be a good I think he would work because he's tall and him under Scorsese, that makes it even better. But that will never fucking happen. That's just us fantasizing about something that we will never be directed. So, but
yeah,
good question though. All right, well, sorry, you were about to say another category. Go ahead.
I'll pivot off that. What's the Mark Ruffalo overacting award? Who in this movie went to like an 11 and really overacted?
Michael Gou.
Yeah, that scene where he's like his daughter's getting like stabbed and like he's like having an orgasm in the corner. He doesn't know how to act.
Yeah. Inside, which is funny with the vampire chick chased with the little girl in the woods and everything else, and wanted to play. I thought that was kind of interesting, but I would completely agree with his overacting. He didn't do it for me. It was cool to see him, but he didn't do it for me. I didn't really care for his character. He played Arthur Holmwood.
Yes,
Arthur Holmwood. Yes, I wasn't expecting that. I agree with you on the overacting. So, wait a minute. What movies do you think he's overacted in? Mark Ruffalo.
Ruffalo?
Yeah.
That was just being funny.
No, I'm just curious because you're saying that's an award. I want to know what movies you think he's overacted because I think he's
everything he's been in.
I just saw a movie that he really overacted in, so I could agree with you on that, called Mickey 17. I don't know if you've seen that one yet. He plays almost like a political guy in that, and he does more of like a Trump impersonation because he despises Trump. So he does a Trump. Oh yeah, if you watch it, you'll see what he's doing. He's like trying to talk like Trump in that movie. Mickey 17 was decent. It was actually an interesting movie. It's directed by the same guy who did Parasite and Snowpiercer, but there was another movie he did with Emily Blunt or something like that, where it's almost like a Frankenstein thing. It's got Willem Dafoe in it. It just Poor Things. It came out last year. I think it won Best Actress or something like that. Emily Blunt, if I'm saying the right. No, Emma Stone. Is it Emma Stone? Yeah, Emma Stone. Sorry, I get them mixed up. But no, that's a good category for overacting because there has been a lot of movies. I don't think nobody likes his Hulk. I actually see so many people troll him for how they do not like his Hulk. They actually go like Eric Bana's Hulk. Like people are wanting Eric Bana to be Hulk again.
I don't know. I'd go with the
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton. I'd go with him.
No, he's the best one. I agree with you 100%. In fact, he didn't. I think he was hard to work with on the set, and they didn't go his way. That's why he wasn't picked to come back. I remember there's a lot of controversy about that. There's actually an episode that we did. It was like our 4th or 5th episode, Hulk Extravaganza. I think we talked about it.
Yep, you did.
But that's like one of our first episodes. Like it's only an hour long. It's actually a pretty decent episode. But Edward Norton was a good Hulk. It's funny how we went from Dracula to Hulk now. That's what we do. We just go all over the place when it comes to movies. So,
do you have any hot takes on this movie?
Hot takes.
I'll go first. So I think that Van Helsing, he was able to leap over tables. He was staking vampires, throwing down like he's auditioning for a Bond movie. I think whoever saw this movie was like, it motivated them to be like, yeah, can fucking pull off a Bond movie. He's like Indiana Jones. He's that dusty academic guy.
Yeah,
energy just rips. Like this is it.
You're better with this than I am. I'm not good at stuff like that. Coming up with some great funny stuff like you guys. You're part of Body Wrong. You guys come up with this shit. I'm fucking dumbfounded when it comes to this stuff. So I'm trying to think of a hot take for this. Christopher, huh?
No, it's okay. If you don't, it's okay.
No, I'm thinking. Hold on, I'm thinking. I'm probably gonna make an idiot of myself. But let's go ahead and see here. Christopher Lee trying to be the romanticizing vampire by all the hissing. I'm gonna say this. He's trying out for like the freaking Cats the Broadway because of all the hiss.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry, because of all the. I'm sorry. That's seriously what he does throughout the whole movie, because you only see him talk in the beginning of the movie for maybe like a couple lines, which is he's very gentleman-like the way he's talking and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, this is a gentleman vampire. Then the rest of the movie, you don't hear him say anything. You hear him say nothing. All you hear is yeah. So yeah, that's probably not my best hot take, but you put me on the spot, and I'm not good at being put on the spot.
Next up, I thought this through hard. Would Samuel Jackson make this movie better?
Yes. Yes, he would. But I'm trying to think of what character he would be.
So hear me out. Hear me out. I truly think if he was Van Helsing,
that's exactly what. That's what.
He would start the entire MonsterVerse, the whole dark MonsterVerse. He could bring that back. All you gotta do is have him in that character, a leading role, thank God. And then for a teaser, just have him just like walk up to Dracula's tomb, be like, "It's Dracula, motherfucker!"
See,
and just to hear him say that. Then next shot, he's in front of a court. He's being accused of murder, and he goes, "Allow me to retort. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell."
Yes. See, I knew motherfucker was going to be in there somewhere. That had to be in there somewhere, because that is typical Samuel L. Jackson. Shit. They even have a fucking, I think they even have an Alexa thing where you could actually have it as Samuel L. Jackson, and it can be like, "What do you need, motherfucker?" or something like that, because he's the king of motherfuckers. So is Joe Pesci. But no, that's good. No, you were right on key about Van Helsing, because that's exactly what I was thinking about. Him as Van Helsing would be funny. Plus doing all that jive talk and everything.
Yeah.
So that's good.
What memorabilia would you take in this movie?
Oh shit! You asked me this when we talked about it. You actually brought this to my attention. I still have to think about this. I'm gonna let you go first, because I'm trying to get my head straight, trying to figure out what would be a good thing.
So in the library, there's a giant globe in there.
Okay.
I'm taking that because of Glorious Bastards. The scene where Fassbender comes up and there's a huge like cocktails, all these different liquors in there.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what's in there. There's some treasure in there. I want that globe.
Probably a lot of heads of all the women that Christopher Lee's taken off, and just put them in there as his trophies. I got these bitches. Shit. Let me see. Memorabilia that I would take from this movie. That's good, by the way. I'm gonna say this because I just think it's cheesy as fuck, but it's his coffin. His coffin is just, it's so plain, and so the name on it just gets to me so much. So I would have to say his coffin. I would love to have that, just that simple gray that they have. Yeah, that's probably it. This coffin.
All right. So my last question: what is your double feature with this movie? So you watch this.
Yeah, I already got this one.
That.
Yeah, I already got this one. And people are probably going to say, "You want to go first? Or you got it."
Go first. Hit me with it.
All right. I think you already know about this, because I'm a big fan of Ed Wood. So I'm going to go with, this being as cheesy, I'm going to go with Plan 9 from Outer Space and Horror of Dracula, because you got to love Bela Lugosi in that little small scene in Plan 9 from Outer Space, because he's Dracula right there, and also the cheesiness. And it's kind of a remake. It's kind of a ode to the sci-fi movies that Ed Wood likes, like Forbidden Planet and everything else, but sci-fi and horror mix. That would be my duplex movie right there. Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That's not bad. I appreciate that. I would go Wicker Man, the original Wicker Man with Christopher Lee in it. So I watched Horror of Dracula first,
yeah,
and then watch Wicker Man, because just to watch that, that slow dread, that slow burn, and then at the end, just seeing Christopher Lee just dancing.
Yeah, you were talking about that. I remember that. Oh man, you wouldn't go for you've seen the remake with Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah. I like that one too. I like it.
His famous little scream with the bees and everything. Oh man, Christopher Lee just dancing. Oh fuck. Good question. Duplex. If they made a sequel to this, but what is a sequel that you would prefer to this? Like, how would Dracula come back? What was your way of Dracula coming back?
They answer it in the other movies. You'll see.
No. I want to know what you think, what your version would be of him coming back. I don't want to know. I don't know what the other movies are, so I don't know how he comes back, but I want to know what your version of him coming back would be. Because he snivels up and basically scribbles up into a little corpse and everything else, which I thought was a cool scene done. Cool, well done scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was practical effects. I mean, it looks really good. It holds up. The scene holds up for me.
Yeah, no, it was good. I was impressed with that.
So I could see people like some tourists going to Castle Dracula and then messing around. They touch something sharp and they bleed. They get blood on the spot he dies. That brings him back.
So a drop of blood lands on him. Why have I seen that before? Like that's in another. Oh, it's Hellraiser. It just reminded me of Hellraiser. Frank.
That's right.
The blood. So you're going for basically like a horror Dracula Hellraiser version. That's actually a good. That's a good version. That's actually pretty cool. Basically where it lands on his ashes or something like that on the ground, and then he just sprouts right back up, and he's back to being Dracula. I mean, that's actually pretty not lazy writing. That's actually something that could be perfectly. And then it was made in the 70s, so Hellraiser would be stealing from the Dracula movie instead of you stealing from Hellraiser. So from the time, yeah, that was cheesy, but yeah, there you go. There's my question. I tried to make something interesting.
Yeah, Clive Barker hasn't gone to one of his hot clubs yet.
Oh, I love Clive Barker. It's a shame he's only done 3 movies.
I know. That it sucks, but
you've seen Nightbreed, right?
Oh yeah,
I love that movie. Have you seen the director's cut?
Yeah, that's the version Joe Bob showed. Yeah,
he actually showed the director's cut.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, because there's like 3 cuts. There's the director's cut, there's a regular cut, and then there's the Cabal cut or something like that. There's a thing called the Cabal cut, which has a lot more stuff and everything, but it's like almost like VHS quality. But all 3 of his all 3 of his films, Hellraiser 2 is not directed by him, but it's produced by him, but I think it's a great sequel. But I actually really enjoy Lord of Illusions with Scott Bakula, I believe, from the Quantum Leap dude. Yeah. Yes. Is it Blackula or is it Bakula? You're laughing at. I don't know. Scott Blackula. Or I'm thinking of Blackula. Isn't Blackula? That's a movie I've never seen. I've never seen Blackula, actually. And that's actually
in theaters.
You saw Blackula in theaters?
Yes.
How is it?
We showed it for Psycho Cinema. It's bad, but it's good bad. It's cheesy and it still holds up.
Well, there's another one that I think I talked to you about that I've never seen. In fact, my mom even said that she had a crush on him when she was a kid seeing him, and it's God damn it, I forgot the actor's name, and I just brought it up to your attention too. It was made in the 70s. If you can look that up, he played Frost Nixon. Wow, you can actually see that on the screen. Yeah. But it's from 70s Dracula, Frank Langella. And I figured that you would have saw that, but I've never seen it. But I know that's a popular version, too, from the 70s.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you're on this whole Dracula vampire phase. I feel like you need to watch that movie and give it a critique of it because you enjoy doing that. I would love to get your input on that one, too. Just like you need to see Blood for Dracula. Which I do own that film. I actually own that on Blu-ray. I own the collector's edition of both of them. And it's actually got The Flesh for Frankenstein is actually got the 3D version because it's actually in 3D. So it came with like the blue, red glasses to watch it. So yeah, a lot of nudity in that one. So other things about this movie. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was all my questions. You can take it here. We're going to
no pie reviews. Yeah, no, I think we with all these categories. Actually, this was a fun little take on it. I actually want you to do this for future episodes, even for stuff that I host. I would like you to just come up with things because Ron here is simple mind. I can't think of this shit, so I let Gute take care of it. So, but then it puts me on the spot to the point where it's like, oh wow, I feel like a dumbass right now. I can't think of a fucking simple answer, but. Yeah, no, let's go ahead and go to our pint reviews. And this was very hard for me to do because I was struggling with what I was going to give this. So do you want me to go first or would you like to go first? Okay.
The first, I'll take it home.
All right. Pine reviews for Horror of Dracula. First time watching it. Like I said, this was a virgin. I was a virgin to this movie. I thought I did see it, but no, I didn't. I've seen Christopher Lee horror movies before, but younger when I was a kid, and I just don't really remember all that much. But I've always known Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee has been in so many movies that a lot of directors, Joe Dante has used Christopher Lee. He used him in Gremlins 2, The New Batch, where he played the doctor. You remember him that? Yeah.
Oh,
and then Tim Burton's used him in so many movies. He's been Count Dooku from Star Wars. You know, a lot of people hate the name, but you know what? I don't mind the prequels, and I like him actually. And he was fun for that character. George Lucas liked using him. But for this movie, this is what his staple is from Dracula. And for my first watching of it, I thought he was great. I thought he was a good Dracula. Not as vocal. Like I said, it was more, noises and stuff like that. More of like the presence of him was great. Him being tall, him being very gentlemanlike at the beginning when he's introducing Jonathan Harker inside, being the librarian and stuff like that. I really enjoyed him speaking, seeing him in a younger way. I thought he was a great Dracula. I thought that the enjoyment of seeing him, the cheesiness. Peter Cushing, though, was my more favorite, though. I enjoyed seeing Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. I thought that he fit perfectly for the Van Helsing character. Wasn't a fan of Michael Gou. Wasn't even a fan of the guy who played Jonathan Harker. Really, none of the other cast really reached out to me. It was mainly the main two right there, Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. But like I said, I enjoyed this. I enjoy cheesy films. I enjoy historical. This is historical to watch because, this is something that these actors are remembered for. This is what Christopher Lee is remembered for. So I would my enjoyment for this is going to be, I will give this a 3.5, which I think fits for because I would take Bela Lugosi over this. I think Bela Lugosi is the classic first Dracula. I enjoyed him. Yes, I enjoy Gary Oldman. I enjoy Skarsgård as Eve the Nosferatu, a Dracula character. But Christopher Lee did a good job. He was great to watch. Would I watch this again? Yes, I'd watch this again. I'd actually show this to my kids, see what they think. They might find it boring because there are some slow parts in this movie that get it's a very dialogue-ridden movie for a Dracula movie. It's a lot of dialogue between 2-3 characters. The wife, Peter Cushing, Michael Gou. It's a lot of them sitting in the room talking. Not something that you would, but there was a lot of that, and also the original Dracula from the Bela Lugosi version too. But 3.5 for an enjoyment. Critical. The special effects were good. I wish they had a bigger budget. It would have been nice if they had a bigger budget so they can, do what they wanted to do. I thought the coach scene was kind of cheesy. It was you could see how it was just them riding on something and not actually riding. Seeing Dracula run was funny. It made me laugh. And Peter Cushing running too. And then seeing him dig. Like he was digging. He was actually doing all that digging and everything. It's like, why is Dracula digging graves here? This doesn't make sense to me. The direction was interesting. It was very, like I said, I want to see all the other films. I want to see the Frankenstein ones. I want to see all those other ones so I can get an idea of all these. I think Terrence Fisher, we talked about the director. Yeah. Was Terrence Fisher? Yeah. So critically, the colors of this movie aren't that good to me. I wish it was a little bit more darker, but the set design I really enjoyed. The costumes were great. It seemed like it did feel like a British play at some times. Did you ever feel it that way? Like almost like a British play?
Oh yeah. I'll go into my part. But yeah, I think they nailed it for what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it a short 82-minute short film. They hit what they wanted to hit.
Do you like short films though? Do you like them being that short? Do you think it needed a little bit more, or do you felt like it could have been shorter? I mean, do you think
I thought it was well paced?
You think it was perfectly paced? Okay, yeah. I would say that it could have been shorter. I could have seen this movie being maybe like 78 minutes, 76 minutes. There was a couple scenes that just dragged a little bit here and there. Like I said, the dialogue scenes and everything. But the acting was great. I thought Peter Cushing was great to watch. I really enjoyed seeing him in a different role because I'm not used to seeing him. I'm so used to him as Grand Moff Tarkin. So seeing him as Van Helsing, it was cool to watch. So critically, I would probably give this, I'll give the same as enjoyment, 3.5. I'll give it a 3.5. It's not a bad movie. It's cheesy, but it's of the time. It's also from England. It's not a USA film, so it's a different form of direction and everything. But they did well. It's an interesting take on the story. It does confuse me a little bit of how the characters, because you're so used to those characters being, what they were, and then when you're seeing them like switched around and then brother and sister, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm trying to get used to it. I'm not used to that name being that, and Jonathan Harker dying already in the film. He's the main character in the. That changes a lot, but it's interesting to see that take. So yeah, I'll give it a 3.5, 3.5. So there's my review.
Sounds good. All right. So enjoyment wise, I'd give this a 4. I love watching. It's one of my yearly watches. I love watching this movie once a year.
You got that tradition.
I had my son watch it for the first time. He's 8 years old, and he had some questions, but I could tell he liked the movie.
Okay.
But yeah, every time I watch this movie, I can find something new, and I love that kind of stuff. Where I can look more in the background to see what's back there, and I can just catch more of what's going on in the background. But yeah, as you were saying, this is a bold reimagining of Bram Stoker's iconic vampire tale.
Yes.
I feel like it doesn't waste your time. They try to reduce it down. I get there's some scenes, but I feel like it's setting up the next scene and trying to get to the next bigger puzzle. Just small little puzzle pieces that are just trying to build a bigger piece.
Right.
I think Christopher Lee, even though he doesn't talk enough, he's magnetic, he's charming, and menace. It's his physical presence and like his piercing stare do most of the work. It is effective. It doesn't seduce you with words, but dominates with his pure animalistic energy. That's why I'm hissing. Like I don't know. It just caught people different. They did a double take. Like, what's this all about? Van Helsing, just the complete opposite. We have that young, just that compelling iterations of this character. He's intelligent. He's got an urgency to him, and like he wants to do business, and like he's ready to fucking kill.
Yeah.
He's sharp. He's agile. He's driven. That's why I love it. It's like a big chess match, but not kind of like the Sherlock Holmes Downey Jr. version. Like it's a chess match in their British kind of style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, with the coloring steps, like it was a bold step. Like they tried to like match their horror with like rich saturated color.
Mm-hmm.
Like the red isn't just red; it's like a crimson red. It's shocking because like the sets, the castle is like gray toned, and that crimson red really like highlights it. It's like really even more bolder, so like kind of like gets your attention more.
Yeah,
I feel like the candles it like illuminate a little more. They're trying to get that shadowy effects, but it was kind of cheesy. But I do love the sets though. Everything in there had a purpose. I felt like.
Yeah.
So critically, I'd give this a 3. I could nitpick this to hell. I can find little things here that like I don't have an answer for.
Yeah.
But I will give it credit. Like it still has a finger in the zeitgeist. It really did cause it like a shift in horror cinema. Because oftentimes, like you were saying before, like Dracula's adaptations were shadowy and restrained, and the Universal classics. This changed it by trying to like embrace like a more of a sensuality or violence and color.
Yeah.
Like this version of Dracula isn't just a metaphor for death. He's a metaphor for desire, that forbidden passion.
Yeah.
Just like the whole Victorian tales type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, it's not budget or it's not perfect. There was a budget, issues. But just when we look at the whole like the landscape of the landscape of vampire movies, I feel like they really tried to do something else with this Christopher Lee bringing a different like tone to that character. I thought he did a good job. Just Van Helsing's character, he did a good job as well. So why would you want to watch this movie? It's a foundation pillar for modern genre cinema. It's a reminder that style and substance can just coexist.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this like motivated a lot of directors going forward. That they can like try to mix style with substance, just to give it a deeper reward to look at.
Yeah.
So in short, this film earns its place in, just in canon. So I say raise a glass of real red wine to Hammer's horror Dracula and roll with the trash cans.
Wait a minute, you never gave your enjoyment.
It's a 3. Oh, no, 4. It's a 4.
Yeah, I was like, I was waiting for your enjoyment. I was like, so you gave it a 3 for critical. What's your enjoyment? Is it a 4 or 5? I was expecting like something high. So you said a 4?
So 4 for enjoyment, 3 for critical.
Gotcha. Okay. I was expecting that because you've been raving about how much you love this movie and everything else, and the fact that your child even loved it was kind of shocking. He didn't get bored of it at all. He actually enjoyed it.
No, he gets sucked in. Like he's curious to see how it's gonna end. Like how it I don't know. Like it's been a blast like watching movies through his eyes.
Yeah.
Just like he appreciates like I've been trying to show him like more original stuff. Like he's been watching like John Wick. He watched Kill Bill.
Yeah.
He's watched some Nightmare on Elm Street, Krampus. He loves all the different horror movies. So like he's trying to get like more of an understanding. So I was showing him where did it start. He loves all the original Universal monsters. He's something different.
You see, it's the same thing with me. With my oldest, having her sit down with me and watch the movies that I grew up with, and she even remarks as one of my favorite movies of all time, Aliens, as her favorite movie. She loves that movie, and loves the original Alien and stuff like that. She loved The Thing. It was really cool to see her enjoy these movies that I like. And it's cool opening your child's world, with these movies that came out, that you grew up on. More though than the movies nowadays, in my opinion. I mean, there's good movies nowadays, but the stuff that I grew up with, to me, feels a lot better than what's coming out nowadays. I think today's gotten a lot more political, and things just aren't. It's more remakes more than anything. There's so many remakes out there. I like the original stuff.
It's so much harder for a studio to make an original IP.
Yeah,
they're stuck in having to have all these check boxes checked off. And it's like it's not needed.
Yeah, and I'm sick and tired of it. So that's the end of our episode. I will say this was fun. Thank you for introducing me to this movie. I'm so glad that we did it. I do definitely want to try another classic movie again, and I will try and think of one because I think it's fun to do. Me and Good also do the new movies that come out every now and then and stuff like that. But I think that Planet of the Apes and Horror of Dracula turned out to be pretty fun episodes. I like these, so I hope you could.
Caligula?
Huh?
You mentioned before.
I mentioned to you. You didn't text back, so I didn't know if you wanted to do it or not. I would be totally up to doing Caligula on the.
Let's do it.
Oh, did you? Okay, for some reason I don't remember getting that text. All right, so I guess that's gonna be our next episode, and it's gonna be a different version of Caligula because I've actually seen all of them. I've seen all the versions. So they have a brand new version that was released, I believe, last year. I think it was released in 2024. 6
months ago.
Yeah, and it's basically completely redone, brand new footage from start to end, all the alternate footage, and they took out a lot of shit. They took out all the hardcore porn sex because there was a lot of controversy. I know all the history. I've watched so many documentaries on it and stuff like that, but it's a completely rebranded new Caligula film, and I watched it and I actually thought it was actually pretty well done. There are scenes that still drag and everything else, but I think that'd be a great review. So let's do Caligula. I believe what is it called? Caligula.
Director's cut.
I don't know. I think it's the ultimate cut. The ultimate cut. Yes, Caligula Ultimate Cut. I remember I pre-ordered it. I have it, and that would be fun to do. So that will be our next episode.
We had a special showing for that for Psycho Cinema, but I saw that on the big screen.
See, I'm jealous of that. I would have loved to see that on the big screen. And it's really cool because they redid the score and everything. They made a more modern score to it, which I actually own because it came with my Blu-ray and everything. And it's actually pretty different seeing it and everything, and the alternate footage. But it's got fucking Peter O'Toole in it. Peter O'Toole is a great classic actor, Lawrence of Arabia and everything else. And then of course Malcolm McDowell. I mean, who cannot love Malcolm McDowell? So yeah, no, I'm game. Let's do that. All right. So our next episode is going to be Ultimate Cut of Caligula. I am going to enjoy the fun. This is going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys. Well, this is the end of our episode. I hope you guys please press that notification bar and please like this video. Me and Goot like doing these little episodes here and there, and it's always fun hanging out with Goot and talking about movies. So, and I'm really curious about your categories for Caligula. I'm looking forward to that. So, All right, guys, we're going to sign off. See you all later.